Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Dr. Joe Salustio recording live here with my partner and co-founder, Elvin Freitas at Anthology Live 2022 in Orlando, Florida at the Dolphin and Swan and Dolphin, I don't know which one comes first, resort here in Orlando on the Disney World campus. Pretty amazing. Lots of kids in this hotel all going crazy for Disney. Lots of anthologists and anthology users going crazy, learning about technology adoption, the anthology system. Of course, as the audience may know, or maybe you don't, but I'll tell you, Lindenwood University, where I work as Senior Vice President, is going through an anthology transition, meaning we are transitioning to anthology. And if there was a person at Lindenwood that I could say is our anthology expert in change management and adoption, it would be this man, ladies and gentlemen, my guest today. Here he is. He is TJ Rains. TJ Make It Rains, I might say. And he is Vice President of Information Technology and Chief Information Officer at Lindenwood. TJ, what is going on?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for taking time to meet with me today.
Well, I hit my microphone, TJ. I'm very professional here at EdUp. No, I mean, TJ, you and I work together.
Indeed.
This is the weirdest thing, right? So I work for Lindenwood and I'm interviewing you, using Anthology as a change management and a Lindenwood coworker, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at work. So it's a super weird situation, but we're going to make the best of it here.
Yeah. Good times.
It is good times. By the way, TJ, if you don't know, has the greatest name for an actor or stuntman. There's a stuntman named TJ Rains. Like that's what you would. That's who would be.
I just couldn't
Rains.
figure out how to get into the business. So higher education IT. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go with it. TJ, the why this is so interesting is because you are in the middle. Lindenwood is in the middle of an implementation toward anthology. Let's just start, level set for us. Talk about the selection process leading up to anthology and what brought you, because it was before my time at Lindenwood, what brought you and the team to decide an anthology?
Sure. Well, we went through a pretty comprehensive RFP process. And just like any other RFP, you develop your script, you take it out to bid and evaluate those who place a bid. And, we took a look at all the major players in the game. And of course, Anthology stood out as the primary when it was best aligned with our overall requirements and needs for future modern and secure digital experiences for our faculty, our staff, and our students. So we were super excited to see, the core infrastructure behind the scenes of the Anthology student system being really tied into the Microsoft ecosystem, which was very, very good for us from a technical perspective, because in essence, we've already built up those skills, those capabilities to manage the Microsoft 365 environment. And being that the Anthology SIS is based on that, it was just a win-win. Not only that, but the functional requirements were smashed. Anthology just did a wonderful job in presenting their product and aligning that presentation to the specific needs that we have as a university.
Amazing.
All right, so here we are. We've selected Anthology. We're going through implementation. And there's so many questions, right? Because there's so many systems that people can choose from, so many that users use. And implementation and the change management process is one of the most critical. The technology is what it is. It adapts, it evolves, and so on, but it doesn't convince, right?
Indeed, yeah.
People have to convince. So talk about what do you do with this? You choose Anthology, and then the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, we have to lay out a plan, we have to communicate, we have to survey. Talk about the change management process and how you tackle, which is sometimes an impossible task to tackle because of the number of people that might be change averse.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks are not only change averse, but the implementation of any new system really changes the entire environment for which the students, faculty, and staff work, and it can really shift their perspective on their day-to-day. And so with that in mind, you really have to work strategically with key folks throughout the institution from every aspect, from admissions into financial aid, enrollment management, you name it, to get a great understanding of their perspective on what will make their jobs easier, more efficient, and more student-centered. And so,
but you know as well as I know, though, TJ, sometimes easier is still change. And it's amazing sometimes how people can fight something. When I say people can fight, but they look at something that is going to make their job easier and still go, but I have to change and I don't want to. So much of it is a communication piece over
Totally.
time, right?
Totally. I mean, you have to start out the project with the framework that these individuals on the functional side and also on the technical side are going to be joined at the hip for the full full width of the project, right?
Yeah.
So you have to start out with some great relationships, and I think more than anything, building and sustaining those relationships throughout the project was one of the most critical things that a project manager or a CIO or a president or anybody who's involved in the project has to contribute to it. Change management is crucial, but project management is just as crucial. There are two different sides to the coin when it comes to project management. There's the internal project management processes that the university will take on, and then there's the external side, which your vendor, in this case, Anthology, takes on. And we want to make sure that we're working together, joined at the hip, that our processes are not going to keep us from moving in this common direction towards a successful go live. And with Anthology, we've been very, very pleased with the overall commitment of the leadership of the team and the overall structure that has been designed. And we work extremely well together. Our project manager is phenomenal on both sides. Christine Morris from Anthology, and then Stormy Henry from Lindenwood University.
Shout out to Christine and Stormy.
Excellent. I mean, they're just phenomenal. They work in tandem to ensure that we stay on track based upon the originally defined plan, and that we make tweaks and adjustments as we move forward to ensure that we are well prepared for launch.
What I have noticed since I started, of course, I started in January, and you guys had been into the transition for a little bit at that point, right?
Yeah, about 6 months at that point.
Okay, so when I got there, I still had people come up and they're talking Anthology, and you get this thing.
What the heck is going on?
Right, but now people are really excited. Everybody is like, when are we getting this? Why can't we have it sooner? Why, TJ? Why are you moving so slow? No, they don't say that, but they say, why can't we have this sooner? And sometimes you have to take it on the timeline it's supposed to be delivered in, so that you get all the kinks out, because there's lots of data spins, right? That seems to be one of the most important pieces of this transition. Is we have data in an A bucket, it needs to go to the new bucket, and how do we make sure that all that data comes over in the way that we want it to? Because we have student protections, we have cybersecurity concerns, we have social security numbers, and this data must come and be protected in a new system, right?
Exactly. The way in which Anthology has broken down the implementation model, I think is extremely smart. I mean, there's more than one or two iterations on data conversion. It's baked into the core model of implementation, and I believe they're changing the terminology from spin to DevOps. But I love the spin language, and I think it really helps folks understand that there are multiple iterations that we go through to validate the data prior to bringing it over for final conversion. But on top of that, you have the opportunity to go through deep process testing as a group, which has been just phenomenal. And we are about ready to move into spin 3 of our implementation. So, and our team is just extremely tied to the hip to the plan. And it's been super helpful to have a guiding core team to really guide the work of validating data all the way through process and integration testing.
So let's talk about Lindenwood University for a second. Not only because I work there, but and I love talking about it, so that's why I'm going to have you talk about it instead of me.
Sure.
But Lindenwood is pretty amazing. It is an amazing place, and it has amazing people. I feel totally honored to work there. You've been there for 7 years. Tell us a little bit about Lindenwood and why this transition to Anthology is important for the future of Lindenwood University.
Sure. Well, I came to Lindenwood University in 2015 and really came in to really help turn over the technical infrastructure. We had a lot of challenges, and what really hit me during my first tour before I accepted the position was the relationships that were formed between the leadership of the institution and all the employees, faculty, staff, and students. It was just it's a wonderful family-like experience, and that's really has kind of kept me through. But Lindenwood University is just a phenomenal institution, comprehensive university. We've got an amazing set of facilities. Our campus is like no other. It's just an amazing place. And if you're into the arts, Lindenwood's art programs are just phenomenal. We've got a major art. Our Scheidegger Center for Performing Arts is just second to none in the region. It's just beautiful, and we are so pleased to get to attend as many of the performances as possible. My wife, my son, my daughters, we are totally nerding out over the Lindenwood experience.
Love it. So Anthology comes in October of 2022. What do you expect from the implementation? So it goes live. You're the chief information officer. What do expectations look like for you or other chief information officers as they're going through this process? What are you looking for? What are you not looking for? How do you gauge the success of this implementation?
Sure. With any major student information system or other system implementation, you start out with key success metrics and really trying to measure what your expectation is at the end of the implementation. We actually started out with a fairly major issue, which is the product that we had in the past was basically starting to age itself out in terms of function and capabilities for the future to align with the expectations of our students, right? And that's Lindenwood University is a student-centered institution, and we want to make sure that we are not only meeting the expectations, but we're well exceeding them in terms of that modern experience. So we were unable to deliver that. It's really what it came down to. And that means a mobile experience for records registration and access to financial aid, and bringing all of our tools together into one comprehensive, single, simple experience. It was mission critical for the implementation of this project. But not only that, with the implementation of a new student information system, you have the opportunity to really shift the ways in which you do business to create efficiencies across all areas that are embedded into the project. So with the SIS, we are heavily making improvements in our records and registration process, the timing for financial aid distribution, awarding, packaging.
Ooh, we love the noise coming.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's a wonderful place. It's a great opportunity for us to really turn the organization around and become a lot more student-centered, based on their expectations. So, but along with that comes a few other things, such as cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, of course, is on every chief information officer's mind every day, all day. So having a infrastructure that is based upon the Microsoft 365 environment, which is a core of our cybersecurity stack, is mission critical. It gives us the ability to leverage a toolkit that we are very familiar with to not only manage the processes and manage the products, but also maintain a high level of cybersecurity posture.
I love it.
100%.
That's how, that's what we do here at Lindenwood, by the way, at Lindenwood University. That's our success rate of not having hackers, 100%. We have no hackers because TJ's all over his stuff. But you bring up a really important point. I want to drill down into this, because this would be my nightmare as a chief information officer, is that I have a bunch of people that want to set up my new system just like the old one works, and make this process look like it looks now in the new system, exactly as the way that process works now. And you take this, you map it exactly the way your old process was because you're comfortable. And I think that you want everybody to be a little uncomfortable, because maybe the way we're doing things isn't the best way, but it's just the way we know because we've been doing it. What's this 7 worst words in business? We've always done it that way.
Yeah, no
right.
doubt.
So that would be my worst nightmare. Is somebody goes, well, this is the way I want it, and I want it like this in this system. How do you manage through that?
Yeah, it's a balancing act, because you have this opportunity to really change the way your business processes are laid out, and how you leverage your resources, both human resources and capital, to really achieve improvements in business process outcomes. That's a heck of an opportunity that does not come up very often in this business, right? And so you want to make the most of it. And so with that, we did lean a lot on our friends from Anthology to really help us understand what is best practice within the industry and what they see other institutions doing with their product that are really allowing them to move to the next level. And so with that in mind, we worked with Anthology at the beginning of the project to do a business process analysis workshop where we basically went through each of the key processes within the implementation scope. And we in essence broke down our current state, how we're doing things today, and we identified the areas for improvement immediately. We understand that there are things that we are currently doing today that still make sense within the new Anthology environment, but there are a lot of things that do not. And going through and designing the new future state process is a critical aspect of this project, and any project I would say. But this project in particular, we had just a huge amount of connection with Anthology. They understood that yes, you have to understand where you are today to develop a roadmap to get to the future. And with that mindset, we have a new set of business processes that have been designed and developed not by Anthology alone, not by Lindenwood alone, but together. And that was a super helpful process to go through. And it's not a one and done deal either. We're actually going to be going through a significant review of those 2B states as we go through our final process testing. We're going to make adjustments. We feel that agility is it's an institutional capability that we need to just grow and develop. And that this is a great opportunity to do that. But after the project is over, it doesn't stop. We should constantly be reviewing our processes and constantly be reviewing the tools to make sure that we are in alignment to meet those student expectations.
You heard it here, ladies and gents. Agility is an institutional capability. I love that. Right? It's how you move the institution. And I'll say this with absolute certainty, and I know because I've worked with a lot of them, but TJ Raines is the best CIO in the business, ladies and gentlemen. I would connect with him online on his LinkedIn. Just look him up. He's easy to find. You can find him at Lindenwood. TJ, thank you for stopping by, first of all.
Yeah.
You and I can listen to this tomorrow when we get together at work. But I appreciate you and the work that you're putting in Lindenwood and managing what is an incredible amount of work. And it would be remiss if we didn't say together the amount of staff that we both have working on this transition is literally incredible. We have some great teammates.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we have everybody who's on the functional team, the core team, the technical team. Everybody's just doing a phenomenal job keeping up with the workload. And with these projects, you only have not too many institutions have the ability to basically backfill positions so people are 100% dedicated. So we know that folks are just working their tails off to effectively do two jobs, and both of them are critical to the institution's success. Thank you all so much.
Epic.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name, here he is again. He's TJ Raines. He is Vice President for Information Technology and Chief Information Officer at Lindenwood University. You've just EdUp'd.